Devil's Third's opening story moments exhibit potential, but it winds up being a ruse. It isn't thoughtful, subtle, or even entertaining. It's the kind of soulless, perfunctory action game I fear people judging the medium of video games by. Things started going downhill once I actually took control of Ivan and started doing the only thing he can do: murder fools with a limited, uninteresting set of abilities. Devil's Third melds melee and gunplay fairly effectively, but neither is varied or even immediately satisfying enough to sustain any level of excitement. Simple doesn't have to be bad, it just is here. The repetitive melee executions come with a loss of control and a jarring camera cut, interrupting the flow of combat constantly as if Devil's Third doesn't really want to be played. I don't have a problem with bald hyperviolence either, as long as it's conveyed in a visually interesting way or is used as a payoff for good play, but in Devil's Third it's neither. It's hard to imagine how a creator of Tomonobu Itagaki's caliber was involved in combat so simplistic and void of tactile joy. Melee hits have their impact blunted by tinny, cheap sound effects, and gunfire feels similarly limp. Even perennial favorites like flamethrowers, miniguns, and underbarrel grenade launchers fail to elicit a grin.
Impossible.
A lot of this can be made up for if there were interesting decisions to make in combat, or if it was mechanically demanding in some interesting way, but neither is the case. Despite silly, inconsistent damage spikes, like Ivan shrugging off RPG shells, but dying near instantly to random swarms of bats, I found it easy to mindlessly strong-arm my way through the campaign in a few hours. Even the bosses were really just exercises in monotony. I beat most of them by spamming dodge and chipping away at them a couple of quick swipes at a time. By the time the final boss fell, the only emotion I could muster was relief that there wasn't any more to trudge through. While there is a multiplayer component to Devil's Third, the combat isn't nearly deep or gratifying enough for me to want to play it with other people in a competitive setting, despite some novel match types. You'll purchase equipment, choose a loadout for your character, and engage in mostly pedestrian game modes. But the real insult to injury moment comes when you realize that multiplayer is riddled with microtransactions, giving your competition a chance to buy the best equipment while you grind tirelessly for it. Every part of Devil's Third feels as though it were ripped straight from a decade-old playbook, and its nihilistic reliance on simplistic violence reinforces that fact with every severed limb. For more on Devil's Third, keep it right here on IGN.